So today we're going to be doing rate problems. Now, rate problems can be one of the worst things that's done in an exam. So we have to be very, very careful with these questions. They are word problems, they involve rates, there's a lot that's difficult about it. So I'm going to give you a little tip just on how to approach a test question if you look at it and just go, I just don't know what I'm doing here. Alright, so if you've got trouble with them, you have a guess of 3 answers. Now that's actually a better way of doing it than a multiple choice question, because normally multiple choice questions have 4 options. Here, you've only got 3 things to guess from. Okay, so what will happen is you'll have 2 numbers in the question. So let's, for example, say that you've got a 4 and a 20. So your 3 options are you going to multiply them, 4 times 20, or 20 times 4, it's the same thing? Or are you going to do a division? Now, if you do a division, you might do 4 divided by 20, or you might do 20 divided by 4. So you've got one of 3 things that you can do, and you might just get it right, okay, even if you don't really understand it. Okay, I'm going to explain it to you, but if worse comes to worse, you can do a guess out of 3 options. At the end, I want you to always look and see if the answer looks correct. Okay, if it looks correct, it probably is correct. Alright, so let's have a look at some examples. In this first question, it says, a batsman scores at a rate of 32 runs per innings. Okay, that means he gets 32 runs for every innings. Now, how many runs will he score in 5 innings? Alright, you don't even really have to understand cricket for this question. Alright, so we're just going to go by the words in the questions and the units that they give you. Okay, so we're finding how many runs. So we're going to start our working by writing runs equals, because that's what they've asked for. Now, this is your rate. The thing with the per in it indicates you are dealing with a rate. Okay, so there's our rate right there. So we've got 32 runs per innings. So I'm going to write 32, and then I'm going to write runs per inning like that. Put an S on the end if you like. Now, because we've got the word innings on the bottom of the fraction, that's the thing that you will multiply by. Okay, so you'll notice when I write this down, that word innings lines up at the top of the fraction. So effectively what's going to happen here, I'll just write in that we have 5 innings before I continue. Now, what effectively is going to happen is that these 2 words, one from the bottom and one from the top, will cross out. And that will give you an answer with just runs written after it, which is what you want. Okay, so we're going to do 32 times 5 on our calculator. That will give you 160, and then just write runs on the end. There's your answer. Okay, so in this case, we multiplied the 2 numbers in the question. Okay, let's look at the next one. Now, in this question here, they're asking for a rate, and it has to be in kilometres per litre. So, remember what we do with this? We put the kilometres on the top. Per litres will go on the bottom, and we've got 16 litres. Now, when you go to your calculator, you're going to put that in your calculator. So you're going to put in 168 over 16, like a fraction, and then press equals. Now, you're going to get an answer that you don't like the look of. It'll say 21 over 2, which is not much help to us. So for this one, you are going to have to press SD. So just write that down in red so you know that you do have to press it here. And you'll get 10.5. Now we're going to write our units on the end, which is kilometres per litre. All right, now we're actually using that rate. So they want to know how far. Now, how far is looking for a distance? Okay, so how far can the car travel on 20 litres of petrol? Okay, well, at the moment we have a rate of 10.5 kilometres per litre. Kilometres per litre. So if we times by the number of litres, these 2 units will cross out. You can do that with your red pen. One from the bottom, one from the top, and give you an answer in kilometres. Okay, so we've got 20 litres of petrol that we're writing in there. So on your calculator, you're just doing 10.5 times 20. It will give you 210, and our answer will be in kilometres. That's the distance. That sounds okay, and we've crossed out those litres. All right, let's look at number 3. A tap drips water at a rate of 20 millilitres per hour. That means it's dripping 20 millilitres every hour. How much water would be wasted in one day? Okay, so we're going to do water equals, because that's what they want. Now, it's 20 millilitres per hour. So we're going to write 20 millilitres per hour. So remember what I said, we want that to cross out with that so we can give our answer in millilitres, because that's how much water we're going to have. Now, how many hours do we have? Well, it doesn't tell us. It does tell us that we have one day. So how many hours are there in one day? It's 24. Right, so just write that in red pen up there. So 24 hours in one day, so that's what you'll be multiplying by. All right, not times 1. We have to have these units the same so we can cross them out. Then you just do 20 times 24 on your calculator and you'll get 480. And we've only got millilitres left because we crossed out the hours, didn't we? All right, let's have a look at the next question. A plane can carry 420 passengers per flight. Right, that means one plane will have 420 passengers on it when it's full. How many flights would it take to transport 2,700 passengers? Now I'm going to show you what would happen if we did some guessing on this one, like I said at the beginning here. So just let me get my calculator. Okay, so remember I said over here, well, if you don't know what to do, just do one of these 3 things and let's see what sort of an answer we get. So I'm going to try it on this question and see what happens. Okay, so here's your 2 numbers, 420 and 2,700. So I'm going to just times the 2 numbers together. And let's just see what we end up with. So we press equals. All right, now that says 1,134,000. So let's see if that answer makes sense. A plane can carry 420 passengers. We need 2,700 passengers to get on planes. How many flights will we need? Do you think we're going to need over 1 million flights to get those people there? When you think about it, that makes absolutely no sense, right? Because 2,700 passengers are not going to be on 1 million flights, are they? That would be less than 1 passenger on each plane. So that doesn't make any sense to times those numbers together. So that option doesn't make sense. We're not going to do that. So then you've got your other 2 options of dividing. All right, so we're going to have a look at what happens with this, and let's see what we get. Let's see we do 420 divided by 2,700. And let's see what we get. Okay, so let's just say I do that. Press equals. And that's how many flights. So in other words, less than 1 flight to get all these people on their flights. Would that be right? Less than 1 flight? That doesn't make any sense because you've got 420 passengers on 1 flight. So you need more than 1 flight to get all these people home, don't you? So the only one that's going to make sense is, instead of doing the division that way, to do it the other way round. So if we do 2,700 divided by 420, do it that way round, and then press equals, that means we've got 6.4, etc. flights. So 6 and a bit flights. That makes more sense. Okay, so that's the way we're going to do this question. We're going to do 2,700. I'm going to write it as a fraction because I always do divisions as fractions. So we've got 2,700 passengers. We're dividing by 420 passengers per flight. Okay, now we're going to do what we did a minute ago. When we've got the same unit on the top and the bottom, like passengers, we're just going to cross them out. So if we do that, the only word we have left now is flights. So once you work this out on your calculator, which we just did, and then write flights on the end. Now, you can't have 6.4 whatever flights, can you? So how many flights do you think we're going to need? Should we round off to the nearest whole number? Because if we do that, we're going to get 6 flights. Will that get everybody home? I don't think so. I think you're going to leave a few people out. They won't be able to get home. So what you've got to do here is round up. All right, so we're going to round up. So we're going to go up to the next whole number, and that would be 7, and that's how many flights we're going to take. 7 flights. Okay, let's have a look at question 5. Right, now this one's got an extra little complication in it. So the Smiths need to buy a new carpet for their house. The carpet costs $140 per metre. So every metre of carpet coming off the roll is $140. And the carpet layer charges $450 to lay the carpet. All right, that's for his labour. All right, that's his job to do that, and so he has to earn his money from that. If they need 27 metres of carpet, how much will it cost? That's what we're finding, to carpet their house. Okay, so we're going to write down cost equals, because that's what we're trying to find. I'm going to write down $450 plus, because we're going to make sure that we have the cost to lay the carpet written down first. $450 plus. All right, so now we're going to do our rate, which is up here. So $140 per metre. I'm just writing the units under each other like that. And then we're going to times by the number of metres, which is 27. So watch what happens. Those two ends will cross out from the bottom and the top. Okay, and that will just leave us with dollars, which is what we want because we're trying to find the cost here. So if you put in your calculator 450 plus 140 times 27, let's just do that and I'll show you. So we're pressing in 450 plus 140 times 27 and press equals 4230. And that's how much money you're going to be paying. All right, you don't want to end up like the people on the block, because what happens to them? They end up with a whole lot of bills from their trades. That means from their tradesmen. People like the carpet layers that haven't been paid their $450. So you're not just paying for the goods, you're not just paying for the carpet, you have to pay for the labour to lay the carpet as well. Okay, I'm coming back in the next video and doing a few more examples.